Uh, as I used to watch soap operas back in the day, Billy, I used to watch One Life to Live until they took that off the air. Now I watch Keith Lee because he is a soap opera. This character, the change of a character, what they do to him as a human being, changing outfits. Tell me what's going on with Keith Lee.
I'm surprised that you didn't get on this on when we were on Raw, because I thought it was something you'd be dying to talk about. But yeah, I mean, some of these notes were written beforehand, so unfortunately, like, people have seen it, and I really do mean, like, unfortunately. But so Keith Lee was immediately taken off TV once he spoke out about having. For those guys coming over from Russo's brand, you know that Keith Lee having was exclusively my story. Now, these idiots like Satin and Sap, they could turn around and go, "Oh, we don't do stories about health. We don't do stories about mental health, and we don't do stories about pregnancy." Well,
but meanwhile, Sap's reporting on Daphne killing herself. That was mental health, right?
Step by step, like minute by minute updates.
But
like,
they don't do stories on that. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I've called the ambulance. I'm Sean Ross.
I got a crowbar. I'm trying to open a door.
Guy's an idiot.
We tried to climb up to her window. Go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, because we had the Bray Wyatt story, and because we knew about Becky's pregnancy, and because we knew Keith Lee had, they choose not to report on it. But the fact is that they don't have the sources to get it anyway. So one day, like, further down the line, I'm quite open. I've spoke about it on Russo's show. I'll speak about it here at some point. I'm quite open about my sources, not in terms of naming them, but in terms of how it's come around that I'm able to get information whilst sitting here in London, England, whilst these marks who get themselves on the WWE conference calls and whatnot don't really get any decent information. And I think the clue lies within that. It's very difficult to play both sides of the fence. If you're going to be on the WWE conference call and you decide to go down that route, and interviews with WWE performers are very important to you, then you're going to be asked to stop breaking the news, which they don't want out there. We've already had that phone call before. Where did you get this Russo story from? Where did you get this Rusev story from? Where did you get this Lana story from? If you take this off your website, we'll sort you. We'd appreciate it, and we can give you this, that, and the other. To which me and Nick, my previous colleague, just said, "No thanks. We're just going to continue to cover the news whether you like it or not." So, and story for Keith Lee falls under that category. The decision was made to take him off television and distance him a little bit from that video. At the same time, Vince then pulled the trigger on something he wanted to do for a while, where he sees Keith Lee as a heel. And Keith Lee's been working at the Performance Center, and he's been working dark matches as a heel. And that's what the Bearcat character is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a trimmed down, which I've not seen any signs of that, but a slim down Keith Lee, who's now a 100% heel. The idea will obviously be that he works with Big E down the line. The problem is you have Karrion Kross and Keith Lee on the show, both as heels, with exactly the same push. It would not surprise me to see them split in some way in the draft. But at the same time, you need viable opponents for, if you're going to go all in on Big E, you need viable opponents for this guy. So I think Lee and Kross fall under that category. You also have Damian Priest as your US champion as well. So one of them could go over in that direction. But yeah, that's what they're doing with him. He's a heel now. You haven't seen it yet from what happened this week because he squashed a comedy heel. But trust me, Keith Lee is a heel. And you'll see that in the next few weeks.
That was going to be my next question is, well, he was beating up Tozawa, so that didn't seem odd to me.